All right, making a hockey video, because you know what? Something interesting happened and I want to talk about it. So here is that thing. Let me pause it just to set the stage right here. It's the Chicago Blackhawks playing the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal currently is fighting for their playoff lives. This is where they are currently at in the standings. They're still in a playoff spot. They are in the last playoff spot in the East right now, and they have a 4-point lead since they made it to overtime over the Columbus Blue Jackets. So all they need is either to win in the shootout here or to just get to overtime in their next game to clinch a wild card spot, but they'd rather win it in a shootout here. If they lose this shootout and lose their next game, and Columbus is able to win both of their next games in regulation, they would jump the Montreal Canadiens, and they would be the number 8 seed in the playoffs. So that's what's on the line here. Montreal, a chance to clinch and go to the postseason. Chicago, they have nothing to play for, but hey, they're having fun, trying to see if they can, play spoiler. So all that brings us to here. It's the shootout, and here for Chicago, watch what this player is going to do. So Montreal missed their first shot. You're going to see that Chicago's player actually fumbles the puck a little bit, but then recovers and has some kind of a backhand, but it's unclear as to whether or not it actually went in. The broadcaster didn't even seem to really know when he gave his call. They showed one replay live, and even this one, it's not really easy to tell what happened there. And I think a lot of us just assumed it either got stuck in the goalie's pads or maybe deflected up and went out of play or something like that. But for some reason, the refs just kind of say, okay, well, no goal. Let's keep things moving. I think based off of everyone's reaction more than anything. So it's ruled no goal. Patrik Laine is going to fail to score here, but then there starts to be a discussion going on with the officials, and you're wondering, what in the world could this be about? Well, the officials are reviewing the play because actually it was a goal. They missed it live, but yes, this puck did in fact go in the net. It ended up kind of getting stuck in between the post and the net, which is why I think they missed it live. But yes, this was in fact a good goal, and here's where things get weird. I was reading through the rulebook to see what the official wording is on some of these replays, and this is something that is notable. Any potential goal requiring video review must be rewarded prior to and or the next stoppage of play. No goal may be awarded or disallowed as a result of video replay once play has resumed, which is kind of tricky, right? Because I think you can take this in two different ways. You could say that the shootout is not necessarily in between each shot. That's not necessarily a stoppage of play. That's just kind of, it is literally a stoppage of play, but maybe you could argue it isn't. But in that scenario, if play is resuming, then what would happen is once the goal is scored, you would basically just get rid of whatever happened after the goal was scored and resume it back at that point. So for example, if a team scored a goal with 5 minutes left in the third period, they let it play for 2 minutes, and then they realized, oh, a team actually scored, then they would allow a goal, and then there would be 5 minutes back on the clock. The other option is that it is a stoppage of play in between shots, which means that this goal should not have been allowed because another shot had happened. Instead, the refs do something different. They allow everything to count, including Laine's shot. Montreal ultimately does not score. They lose 1-0, and that is the end of the shootout. So now Montreal still has not clinched the playoffs, which I just find so fascinating because on one hand, I actually think this is kind of the fairest way to go about it, right? I don't know how much Laine's shot would have mattered, whether he knew they were down 1-0 or not. I think it's probably most fair to do it the way that the refs did it. But ultimately, that's not in the rule book. But again, the rule book doesn't specify anything different for the shootout, and it probably should, right? So yeah, very weird situation. I would love to know your thoughts on this, but those are mine. Let me know yours in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.